How's it going, retro video game enthusiasts? Retro Takeout, Matt and Joe here tonight playing Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers on the Nintendo Entertainment System. This is a title from 1990. It's done by Capcom. Capcom did all of the NES games for Disney, and they all turned out really, really good because of it. Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers was part of an afternoon block. Was it called Disney Afternoon?
That sounds right.
And had shows like DuckTales and Rescue Rangers and Darkwing Duck and or some of the other ones. Goof Troop.
Yeah, but that wasn't made in the games. The games we're going to focus on, and spoiler alert, a little preview video. We're going to play the live stream of this, and then we're going to delve into the Disney Capcom games from the 90s. So Chip 'n Dale's 1 and 2, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, let's see here, DuckTales 1 and 2, what else was there on the NES specifically? Oh, the Mickey Mousecapades, that was the kind of the flagship one. That one technically wasn't a Capcom game. That one was made by Capcom but distributed through Squaresoft? No. I'll have to remember. I'll key you in later.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Right now we're playing Rescue Rangers.
Right.
I'm going to play solo tonight just for time's sake. See, you get to choose between either Chip or Dale. Both characters work exactly the same, so it's just a matter of personal preference and what your sprite wants to look like. I don't know. Tonight we'll play as Chip, I suppose.
One of the fun facts is Chip and Dale were originally cued after actual fictional characters. You have Chip, who's supposed to look like Indiana Jones, and Dale, who's supposed to be Magnum P.I. So, kind of a fun little thing there. So, we're on the adventure to save Gadget. She's the damsel in distress in this game. The evil Fat Cat was always the villain in part of this, so we're going to go defeat Fat Cat by going through all the levels. You don't have to play through all the levels in this game. It's kind of like a Mario 3, but we're going to show you each of the levels because it's kind of fun to do. So
your main your main weapon in the game is going to be picking up boxes or those apples or any sort of other objects, and you can throw them. You can duck and hide in them as well, and you can use them as platforms to get up to higher places as well in certain parts of the game. There's also stuff hidden in them. You'll collect like these flowers and these stars as you go along. I think if you get 100 flowers, I think you get a 1-up, and I think if you collect 10 stars, you also get a 1-up.
Something like that.
Something like that. So it's good to check all of the boxes within reason. I mean, some of them are kind of placed in dangerous areas. You'll see these boxes hidden throughout, and sometimes they contain
Gizmo.
That's Zipper.
Zipper.
He was one of the other characters. He acts as invincibility in this game. Sometimes they contain acorns, which will refill your health meter. It's up in the corner there, the 3 hearts.
And that's all you get. There are no advancing life things. Every life you get is three hearts. That's it. So use them wisely.
So right now we're just trying to avoid the electrical current through the exposed wires here. I'm in desperate need of some health. That would be vigorous. obviously checking these boxes.
So, we chose Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers because this is one of the games we played as kids. Matt actually, when Nintendo Power was a big thing, you could submit your photograph of the completed game. This was before Photoshop and all that, so you really couldn't alter, make the game, kind of fake it, make it up. So Matt actually beat this game when we were younger. Really excited, and he took a picture of the screen and submitted to Nintendo Power for, to get it in the magazine. I don't know if we ever did or not, but they chose some people, so it was really cool.
Yep. Yeah. Fun fact: this is actually the first NES game I ever beat when I was 8 years old. And like Joe said, there was a section for anybody that completed games where you could take a picture and send it to Nintendo Power. And I think they actually did send me a letter. Basically saying congratulations and this, that, and the other thing. I don't think it ever got into an issue.
It's a really fun thing.
Yeah, it was cool. Yep, so here's Fat Cat. He's the main villain in the series, and he's just basically telling us that he captured Gizmo, so now we gotta go and... Gadget, Gizmo,
yeah.
Zipper. I don't remember. This is from like almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Alright, so you can kind of pick your path through here. I'm going to play all the levels. Joe said that you don't have to, which I never knew, but we'll play through all of them. This isn't an overly difficult game. I'm sure I thought it was when I was 8.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's not Contra.
No. Definitely not Contra. But these games were, they were fun because they had a light spirit to them, but there was a story there. And I feel like a lot of games nowadays don't have that story that the games of old did. The graphics were pretty good for the time, or they were great for the time.
Yeah, they look great for NES for sure. I mean, this looks like just like the cartoon characters.
There was never really too much sprite lag because they didn't put too much on the screen at one time. This game was a co-op, but like I said, Matt said before, for time constraints, we're just gonna have him play. Just because one of the things you can do is, as long as both of you are still alive, the other one can keep going, and you can even take the other person and pick them up and take them through the level. But if both of you die, you have to start over the level again. So it gets kind of tough because you're constantly trying to manage both players at the same time. So it does kind of add a challenge to the game, but you do get some replayability out of the game. It's not just once through and you're done. Most of the bosses are pretty simple within this game. They give you the object in which you need to defeat them with. And it's just, watching their patterns and watching out for what they do. The ball won't hurt you, but it'll slow you down if you get hit by it, so you want to make sure that you're throwing it at their correct rates. Each of these clear zones, there's a 1-up if you can get to it fast enough. They which Matt did. It's trying to get all the timing, and there's Gadget. She's calling for help, and so we're off to save her.
Yeah, these cutscenes give you tips on
what to do in the next level,
upcoming levels, and
so this was something that you don't see in today's games. I mean, one, there's way too much story for this game, but at the same time, it's nice because you get to learn some stuff as well as play a game. So it's something different. Oh, Taco Bell on tonight's menu again, so delicious.
Yep. So last level, I guess we were in a tree. Fighting a bird is the end boss. This is like a kitchen. All the levels are kind of generic. They don't really, I don't know, they don't really like go with a certain storyline or anything like that.
But what I did like is you see how yours really small, and it's kind of like the giant level in Mario, where you know it brings you into the perspective of the characters. You know, they're tiny little chipmunks, so they have to, you know, turn off the water faucets right here to keep going, and it's just fun, creative, whimsical adaptations. Whereas,
so there's extra life.
Yeah, so there you go. So if you get so many stars, that one up will travel across the screen, and you get it. So lives are kind of important. If you're blind to the game, if the first time you're playing it, you're probably gonna not do as well because you don't know where all the enemies are or how they respond. Some enemies are defeated with one box. Some take two. Some are just really, you know, kind of unbeatable. You kind of have to just kind of grind past them.
Just kind of taking your time through the. You don't want to get boiled. I just did.
Like you just did. But it's fun because you're in a kitchen and it's just different and it's just something light and whimsical that isn't, you know, it's still for kids, you know, it's still fun. That pepper is something that for ages no one really understood why you needed that pepper. What it'll do is if you pick up an apple now, won't slow you down because any of the really big objects, anything bigger than a box, slow the character down. So now that Matt has the pepper, he can now carry the heavier objects and not lose any speed.
Alright. Go go in the kitchen.
The space was interesting in the 90s. Everybody thought by the year 2000 we'd be in space, but as we know, no one has a flying car and things are just as terrible as they've ever been.
There we go, we survived. We got an extra life.
Somewhere in like a library.
Yep.
Those kangaroos are real.
Yeah, the kangaroos take 2 hits.
And they're kind of dicks because of the...
Yeah, definitely like a whimsical type enemy. Clever with the tennis racket and the getting more tennis balls out of his pouch.
What you gotta think about it though, is that is a really small kangaroo. Because, I mean, you're a chipmunk.
Yeah.
I see where they're going with that, but it's like really weird and clever at the same time. So one of the things with some of these games was vertical scrolling. So once you advanced past a certain point of the level, it became the air became a negative ground space, so you could essentially die by falling, whereas you just came from somewhere and there wasn't a pit. But it makes it a little more challenging of a game mechanic. So one of the hard things about this part that you saw with Matt is you have to hit him with both boxes.
This game might be G-rated, but I'm not going to be G-rated when I die.
Yeah. This is a grown-up channel. We say the words like fuck. Yeah, I got him. I always struggle with that one. That's probably where I die the most when I play this game, is that exact point with that.
That's a tough platforming area for sure.
Like I've gamed over at that point several times in my playthroughs. So, another reason why Matt's playing. Hey, Secret Star. Yeah, you want to kill those guys because they have bombs. Bombs explode. Zipper's going to help out immensely right here and take out all the enemies. And one of the nice things is you can platform with the box. So it was kind of ammunition.
Yep, so some levels have end-level bosses, some don't. That one didn't.
Yeah, it's just kind of a clear thing.
Alright, so now I think this is a toy store.
Yeah, toy store.
You gotta be careful. There's
Mimic boxes.
yeah, mimic boxes that trying to harm you.
But you can see.
Yeah, you can see they're different colors.
Yeah, they're a slight shade, but if you're not looking for it, you totally get hammed with those. So. I hated those guys.
Not that challenging. You bounce and they disappear. Okay, and they come back.
There you go. I don't think those ones are defeatable. I think you just kind of have to.
No,
go
you just
past
spin them so that way you can get through. You just spin them.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really understood this one with the rabbits with the pulling up the rug on you and it made ripples. It was just an interesting concept. This is one of those parts where vertical scrolling through the level. There's another one of the fun parts I like is you use the boxes to turn off the things that stand in your way. So it was different for the time.
So here you have to turn it on to get through, and you'll shut it off again.
The music in these games was really great, but I mean, you know, people, Capcom were the people who made Mega Man, and Mega Man has some of the best music of all time. So, you know, you knew you had something great when Capcom is involved. So,
Yeah, I think Capcom and Konami were the two developers that did the best job for NES games.
oh, agreed. They
were challenging, they had great soundtrack. Most of the games had like really good control response.
nice.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that.
Yeah. And then he threw just one little beat at you. And then again.
Hit him.
I think it's by the...
You gotta hit the lights.
Yeah. So each boss has a point where you gotta hit him. The first one's real easy. You just kind of this cleaning gizmo that you just went up the.
Yeah, what was that thing?
It's like almost like a vacuum cleaner duster, thing that just went bad,
Like a lamp with cleaning tools on it.
Yeah, essentially. Then we fought the owl, and now we fought the robot, because we're in the toy store, so he was the evil robot gone bad, so. Nice.
I gotta build up a couple of lives since that one level. So we'll go right in order, A, B, C, D, E, F, G here. This is another outdoor level, kind of like the tree.
Watch all those fence posts that they're going to try to fall on you. Or slats. Posts. So he picks up the wood and he's sweating, but he doesn't. But because he has the pepper, he's not losing any stamina.
Yeah, normally like bigger objects like apples and those logs, you wouldn't be able to jump as high as you would if you were just carrying a box.
Why pepper does that, I don't know. I think they had to pick something that was age appropriate, and it just happened to be pepper.
No clue.
Ooh, extra life.
Very good. Can't go too far on the screen.
Bam. I always like that you could throw the boxes in all directions, so you up, down, left, and right.
Just left and right and up. I don't think you can throw them down.
And the point of that was...
Just to get across the water.
Oh yeah, now you get the hammer. I always love this part. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah, it's the only time you really get a tool other than like a box.
You can totally use it to beat things up too.
Yeah, you can...
Smash face.
This is the only board where you're getting something like this.
Beat things up. And then when you change the board refreshes, you lose your object, so. Typical gaming.
How do bombs go? We need them.
Okay, so now I gotta fight the electric fish. Avoid the electricity. Generic lightning bolts, Z.
Still have a lot of them.
Got him. Nice.
Close.
Yeah, you would have got plastered by those. Nice. So she's telling us about pipes. So we're in kind of a sewer factory thing.
Yeah, we're getting into some platforming
Whoa. Big tough chickens, he's like Foghorn Leghorn styles.
I feel like that chicken's name should be Vince. I don't know why. Just a big tough guy.
Well, you gotta remember too, Fat Cat is, that whole mafia kind of gangster type of thing going on. So You know, who knows? Maybe they were all Italian. Who knows? This is another part of the game that I never really liked, was the vertical scrolling, because if you messed up after going partway up, you fall to your death.
I'm trying to grab that box. I don't remember how to do this.
You just gotta. So now.
It's a good thing there's no time limit.
Right. It's like the Capcom thing with the change the invisible boxes, and
That'll probably help.
there you go. Yeah, getting started is always hard in these games. And you die. So yeah, I would try not to throw this away. Oh, I'm supposed to.
Oh, I know what I was supposed to do. I think I know.
Yeah, you can get some types here. Good noise. And you did. So this is another one of those levels where it just get to the top and complete it, and we're done. And the music plays. Dun, 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 dun.
Got two.
Hot damn. Alright, so we're gonna finish the first set of these in the casino. So you have your gangster crocodiles with their fedoras. Or are they more like geckos? Because again, you know, you gotta remember, all these creatures are the size of a chipmunk.
I think we need to just
Suspend disbelief.
suspend disbelief for a minute.
Yeah, I don't think the game designers had anything like this in mind for someone to cross-analyze the size and shape of the enemies. But, I mean, they did scale the levels, so you gotta think, maybe. But then again, who knows? Your Rhino football players.
Who knows?
So, this is Derby. I wonder if and there's horses. I wonder if they meant Derby, like, you know, for horse racing. But then again, you know, when you change things over from Japanese to American, sometimes the translations get a little mixed up. You'll see that in games where, like Zelda 2, you know, I am error. You know, is that really his name, or did they really just come across an error? This is one of those platforming things where you want to build yourself some stairs to get the extra life, and then you got to build it again to get across the crevice there. Okay. So pretty predictable boss. Just kind of stay to the one side, because he can only throw them down and at that weird arc, so he can't ever hit you if you stand. And there's two spikes in the floor for some weird ass reason. They decided to put those there. I mean, yeah, Matt caught one on the way in, but that's because he forgot it was there. Otherwise,
whatever, they work.
all right. So we get Gadget back, but
But we're not done.
We're not
got
done.
3 more levels.
yeah, because we gotta fight Fat Cat, make him pay for what he did. So we're gonna blast off into space because remember this is 1990 and space was a cool thing in 1990. And hell, I had those glowing things on my ceiling, stars, sticky stars, so we can turn out the lights. Space is cool. So we return back to Earth at a different point. Now we're definitely in the sewer now. With bubble burping crabs. Good old BBC there. Yeah, some British guy's gonna yell at me for that. Who cares? It's my channel, I can do whatever I want. Bam! Flying squirrels. Flying ninja squirrels. That one I always liked. I thought that one was really clever. Took the hit and got it back. Nice. This is just kind of knowing which path to take to traverse through. No real right or wrong, it's just one path will be easier, another path harder, so. Again, more Capcom-esque feel to everything. They knew what they were doing. They always did the games right. Can't think of too many Capcom games that weren't just spot on, gem perfect. LJN was notorious for bad games.
Yeah, it depends who you ask. Some people love those games.
True.
I guess Punisher's a good or a decent LJN title.
Yeah. Sunsoft had it right with their movie-based games. That's actually the one I was trying to remember. It was what was it, Sunsoft? I'm gonna get it right eventually. But like
Sunsoft did Batman.
Yeah, they did Batman. They were supposed to do Journey to what is Journey to Solace? It was supposed to be a Terminator game, but they lost the license because of the time in which Terminator 2 was coming out. So just interesting stuff.
Messed up.
Yeah. Okay, so just talking about the fans in Zone I. So that's where we're going. Oh yeah, these bastards.
The Pelicans.
If you throw a box of the Pelicans at their mouth, they'll spit it back at you, which is really dumb.
Like that.
You got to go for their feet. That's the only way to defeat them. So fans, they push you back, and if you get to a certain point, that was an awesome score because normally you miss that one. So these bastards, they hide on top of the fan, which is pushing you back. So you gotta time it just right when to throw the box to knock his ass off of it. There you go. And then you start running really fast when. After you can pass the fan, so you gotta be careful. And Monterey's gonna come and break open the screen for us. So this was one of the really great cartoons of the '90s. You had crime fighting, detective work, skill of the Rescue Rangers. Not to be confused with the other Disney. What was it, Rangers Down Under or something? So this guy's a little different because he will only attack you when you hit him. So you just got to watch out for his falling body parts. Nice thing about these type of things is they don't make you redo the whole level. So if you've made it to the boss even with one heart, you're good to go with your next life.
You gotta know where his body parts hit and where the safe zone is. After that, it's just wash, rinse, and repeat. Pretty easy boss once you catch that. Alright, so we're going on to the last level of the game.
Zone J has my favorite music of this entire game. It's got a great feel to it. It gives you that air mystery, but that determination to keep going and continuing to persevere and beat the bad guy. You are the good guy, and good guys win. So.
Not doing so well.
Yeah, I think you can only go up those ones. I don't think you can go down the conveyor belts, which is kind of tough. The conveyor belt switching directions, which kind of throws off your jumping game. Up next are one of the harder enemies because they have a projectile weapon that's pretty slow, but you can almost walk into the path of it later on and get hit by it, so it's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I don't even know what they are.
Weasels, yeah.
Yeah, they take 2 hits.
So they're playing on that whole play on words thing because the dirty weasel, A lot of just careful platforming and the fedora throwing odd job, James Bond villain reference there. And all the cat boxes, kitty litter or cat food or something. 'Cause he's the fat.
I think it was cat food.
Yeah, because he's the fat cat. So again, the in-level platforming of turning off the devices, which is, you don't see that kind of stuff in games anymore, and I always enjoyed that they added that kind of stuff. Nice. Okay, so you're there.
I'm here. I just needed to survive to get to here.
So an interesting fact you can't put cigarettes, cigars, anything like that in games anymore. So it's interesting that they got away with it, at that point when it was becoming a little taboo. But he's going to sit there and do the same basic thing, so as long as you can avoid his ashes.
I am just hemorrhaging fucking lives right now.
And he got him. Did we win?
I think it was a double death.
Let's see if we got it. We totally won. The game smiled in our favor there, and cue the end credits. This theme song has gotten stuck in my head more than once. It's just really clever.
Yep, that's it.
And so
Cat's defeated. Another job done by the Rescue Rangers. Short game, super fun game, pretty easy. Obviously looks good. Disney Capcom. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Retro Takeout. Thanks for watching, and